Solutions architect is a versatile and popular role. It encompasses a wide range of responsibilities, has significant ownership, and also has good potential for career growth. With all of the great things this role has to offer, it does come with its own set of challenges that can make it needlessly difficult for new and experienced solution architects alike. Those are the challenges that I want to tackle in this video and show you how to resolve them. Now, it is not always possible to remove all of these challenges, as they are what constitutes the reality of this role in many organizations, large corporations especially. However, there are ways to manage and minimize them to a degree that does not take away from your effectiveness and enjoyment of the role. Note that, in a way, this role overlaps a lot with the role of the software architect, and in fact, the two titles are often used interchangeably. Sometimes, there are differences in responsibility and domain of ownership of those two roles. However, for the purpose of this video, most of what I say about the solutions architect role is also applicable to the software architect. In some organizations, this is also the same role that a principal or staff software engineer would fill. Also, the solutions I am suggesting for each one of the challenges below are of course not the only solutions. There is a lot more that can be done. I delve much deeper into this in my Unlocking the Career of Software Architect guide, which I wrote specifically to address the challenges that software and solutions architects, both aspiring and experienced, encounter on a daily basis. Challenge number 1. There are often too many meetings. This one often comes as a surprise for new solutions architects, especially if they come from a software engineering background, as most do. As a software engineer, you spend most of your time building software. Sure, there are meetings, but they usually don't take the majority of your time. As solutions architect, you will be invited to a lot, and I mean a lot of meetings. Meetings with the development team, meetings with stakeholders, meetings with third parties, ad hoc meetings, one-on-one meetings, department meetings. It doesn't end. The reason for that is that you are at the crossroads of technology and business. You are expected to make decisions, and in order to make these decisions, you have to be informed. The result is that you are invited to both meetings where you should be and where your presence is not really required. I had many roles where, for months on end, my calendar had almost no free slots, with most slots being double and triple booked. That is until I learned to take control of my schedule. Solution: every meeting that you are invited to, ask for a clear reasoning and agenda. Meetings should be either one of value to you or two it would be of value for the team if you are in that meeting. If neither of those conditions hold, consider whether you really need to attend. Challenge number 2. You are expected to play political games. Few talk about this, but the role of the solutions architect, especially in large corporations, is no stranger to intercompany politics. As a software engineer, you are typically somewhat more shielded from that. However, as a solutions architect, you are expected to interface with a much larger pool of stakeholders of all levels and domains. This is not limited to a solutions architect role or to IT organizations for that matter. This is simply the nature of the corporate environment. I was once asked by my manager to schedule meetings on a specific floor as opposed to another floor just because the latter was or a rival team was based. The manager didn't want us to meet that team on their territory. Solution: the best way to avoid politics is to stay out of them. That may not always be possible. However, if you are cognizant of the fact that these things happen, you can navigate them much better. The problem with many solutions architects is that they do not even realize that this is going on around them, and so they end up being needlessly caught up. Challenge number 3. Too much bureaucracy. Solutions architects often need to deal with a lot of bureaucracy in their day-to-day. Whether it is putting a request to a different team, getting a technology approved, requesting sign-offs, or going through processes with other departments, there is quite a bit of red tape. I've rarely met solution architects, or any other role for that matter, who like dealing with that. Yet, going through the motions of sometimes overly rigid and ineffective processes is a reality for most organizations where the solutions architect role exists. One time, I spent several months being redirected from one department to another in an attempt to get a technology approved. Although management knew all too well that this technology would be necessary, no one had bothered to approve it ahead of time. The team was labeled a trailblazer though. Solution: get a head start on things, get them going in parallel, and delegate. List the prerequisites, find what can be done in parallel, and find others to help you move forward. I found that many tasks that require dealing with bureaucracy are best to be done by business stakeholders such as project managers, people managers, and product owners. That does not mean tasking others with your work. What it does mean is finding the best person to do the job. Sometimes that is you. Often, it is not. Fun fact about bureaucracy. It is one yet not the only one of the elements in what I call the dark side of the software architect's role. I talk at length about this topic in part 3 of my guide for solution and software architects. Challenge number 4. Lack of clarity. Another aspect of solution architecture that many new and experienced solutions architects alike find as a challenge is that there is often not enough clarity. This is true for business requirements, company processes, expectations of your role, and more. Solution. It helps tremendously to list the questions you have on whatever it is that is not clear and voice those questions. Not everything can be answered right away. However, what you will find is that slowly but surely, you will be making things clearer and clearer. One important point here is to ensure that you also share that clarity with others. Otherwise, things will become obfuscated and unclear again. Challenge number 5. There are mixed expectations of your role. Although the industry has a fairly well-defined set of responsibilities for a solutions architect, not all organizations, teams, and engineering leaders subscribe to those to the same degree. Also, many are simply not aware. I remember joining as a new solutions architect to a project where a lot of the work that I was expected to do was that of a project manager and that of a business analyst. Not a good use of a solutions architect's time and skill set. Solution. When joining a new project, align your expectations with those of your manager and team. If those expectations differ from your expectations, address that. At the end of the day, what you are expected to do should be what other solutions architects in the organization are expected to do. If there is no clarity there, that's a problem. In that case, identify which type of work you can do as a solutions architect that provides the most value to the organization and use that as a guide. Challenge number 6. There are too many technology architects you need to align with. In an organization that has a solutions architect role, there will most likely be other technology architects. There will be infrastructure architects, and enterprise architects, domain architects, and data architects, security architects, and on and on. You will typically find that even as the solutions architect for your team, you will often not have the last say in terms of the technology, approach, or tool to use. For example, if your organization is in a public cloud, you will probably have a cloud platform team with its own architects. Using technologies within that public cloud will require sign-off and approval from platform infrastructure architects. If you don't know how to approach and work effectively with these teams and these architects, you will have a number of otherwise unnecessary challenges. Solution. Build relationships with teams and other architects. Get to know how they work, what their own challenges are, and how to streamline your collaboration with them in the most optimal way possible. Sometimes, even inviting a person for a coffee chat, virtual or otherwise, goes a long way. I once individually invited every member of a platform team for a one-on-one chat to get to know every one of them. That gave me a great view into their team and a much better appreciation of what they do. Challenge number 7. You are a bottleneck. Much of what you will do will really be at the nexus of multiple teams, priorities, and initiatives. You are expected to make decisions that affect the project in a significant way. It is also up to you to create the design and architecture, which of course is the precursor for development. This is regardless of whether you are doing waterfall or agile or something entirely different. I often found that the team is waiting for me to either come to a decision, create a deliverable, finish a POC, or finalize an architecture. Same happened in other teams to other solutions architects. This being a bottleneck coupled with other challenges we navigated through here, lack of clarity, proliferation of meetings, and others, is not a recipe for success by any means. Solution. Similarly to how you would deal with bureaucracy and red tape, find ways to delegate and parallelize work. Also, oftentimes, having a bottleneck is simply the result of poorly planned work. It can help tremendously to find ways for the team to continue working while you are providing them with partial results. For example, when undergoing a security review by a dedicated security team, consider providing a general draft of your high-level architecture ahead of time, as opposed to waiting for a fully polished version. The latter will follow. However, providing something in draft earlier rather than waiting for the final product can often speed up the process and eliminate some low-hanging fruit early on instead of spending more time at a later point. Prioritization is key as well. Ensure that there is alignment between the priority of your deliverables, business requirements, and development deliverables. You would be surprised how often those are misaligned without anyone realizing.